Hello and welcome to Soaking Up Life with me, Emily Atack. I'm joined by model, author and British Vogue contributing editor, Munroe Bergdorf. Munroe, thank you so much for joining me. Dressed for the occasion, I see.
Well,
Thank you.
I got a funeral later, so...
Yeah. You look amazing. Can I start by saying congratulations on your book?
Thank
Transitional,
you.
amazing.
Thanks.
I wrote a book a few years ago. No one read it. What was the process like for you writing it? How did you kind of start doing that? I remember I was on a train on a laptop that I just bought. It was like didn't own a laptop ever in my life, and then I just bought this shit laptop, and I started sitting there, just started typing. Like, how did you start writing this?
Well, yeah, it took like 4 years. It was a long one. It was a long slog.
4 years?
4 years.
Wow.
Yeah, I wrote different versions of it, and then I ended up putting them all together, and that's the version that's out now. But yeah, it was difficult because it's a memoir, but it's also using social happenings, movements, changes within society, and also like talking about how I related to them at the time, like when I was a kid, when I was a young adult, now. So
yeah, and how has social media kind of helped, you know, in that process? Do you think, if it has at all?
Well, it has, yeah. I think social media has been great for finding other people like myself and like-minded people, plugging into communities, support.
Yeah.
Social media can be such a force for good if you know how to use it.
Yeah.
And I think that that's the main thing, is knowing what serves you and knowing when to duck out when it's not anymore.
Right, I think that's something I'm really trying to learn. I mean, I remember back in the day, the first social media vibe, MSN. Do you remember MSN?
Oh, yeah.
Do you remember MSN?
Yeah.
I mean, I might be older than you, so that might
TTYL.
be... Yeah, I think my first name was misbad@hotmail.com. I think that was my first MSN, yeah.
I don't want to say what mine was.
No? Oh, come on. No.
No. It was pretty bad.
What was your first memory of using social media? Was it that? And was it a positive experience? Can you remember?
Yeah, I think it was like MSN or probably FacePic.
Yeah, or like Bebo.
I never had Bebo.
Oh God, I'm so old.
I think MySpace was the first one that I was really into.
Yeah, I remember MySpace.
And that was like the first time that I really started thinking that social media could be a tool for self-expression.
Yeah.
Up until then, I only really used it to communicate, but MySpace was really the first time that I could like curate the image that I wanted for myself, stick a song on that I loved.
Yeah.
Find other people that had the same interests or the same kind of vibe. And then, after that, it was like Facebook. And then after that, it was Instagram. And I'm not really into TikTok, but I vibe with it. I'm like a ghost on there. I just stalk people.
Yes, no, I kind of do that. I watch all the fun videos, but I just can't bear the thought of myself actually getting up, doing a dance. I can't.
It's too much pressure for me.
Yeah, me too. Have you ever had like a social media mishap? I mean, I've accidentally gone live a few times, you know.
I don't think I've really had any social media mishaps, but I try to like, you know, not go live when I'm drunk or not shaming you, or like kind of use social media when I'm drunk. I try to I just get the fear and
think
put
there should
it
be
away.
a breathalyzer thing on it. Like seriously, like
There
you should be banned if it smell the amount of vodka on you. They're like, no social, you're blocked.
But I have like some weird people messaging me who are like really harmless, but it gets quite weird, like foot accounts and like,
fetish, oh my God,
like, I mean, everybody's got their something, go off, as long as you're not hurting anyone, enjoy yourself.
Yeah.
But like when it's like people sending me pictures of my own feet, that's a little strange.
Do you know there's an account on Twitter called Emily Atack's Belly Button?
Really?
It's the weirdest thing. It's just pictures of my belly button. I'm like, guys. I mean, I'm quite proud of my little belly button. It's fine. There's nothing offensive about it. But like, so weird. What's your relationship like with social media at the moment, currently, do you think?
At the moment, it's good. because
That's good.
I think
it's
that
quite rare that you hear that.
yeah, well, I think it's important to have a good relationship with yourself in real life, in reality. And when you don't have a good relationship with yourself in reality, I think it becomes so easy to throw yourself fully into social media.
That's so
and
true.
then you get like kind of caught up in all of the drama or the pressures.
That's really good advice, actually.
Yeah.
Sort of check your relationship with yourself first in reality, because I think we so easily mix the two. That's the problem,
Yeah,
isn't it?
I think it's not reality, is it? It's
not,
like a version. It's like a, you know, it's almost like a play on reality. It's like a
Yeah.
veneer. So when you
Totally.
can have a good relationship with yourself in reality and build the world that you want outside of your phone, then when you go into your phone, it's like a condiment rather than an actual meal.
Do you know what? I think that's such good advice, especially to really young people who are growing up in the world of social media.
Yeah.
So I remember life before it, and
Well,
there was a
exactly.
life.
Like we were the last generation
Yes.
that can, that had both.
So do you think you're quite good at kind of limiting yourself with it?
I think so. I
Yeah.
think because, you know, my job is so in the public eye, I think you have to be. You
Yeah.
need to like establish boundaries.
Yes.
You need to know
Take breaks.
you need to know who you are outside of validation or accolades or
Yeah.
you know, magazine covers. It's important to really know who you are in reality, away from people who are telling you that you're the worst person in the world or the best person in the world, and like everybody's somewhere in between.
Yeah, no, that's so true. Do you think you've seen a change in how you use social media as your career has progressed?
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely, you have to.
Yeah, totally.
When your job is, you know, in front of people, and you know you're there for people to consume to a certain degree, you need to really make sure that you're holding on to something for yourself, and you can't give everything away. So I try to keep as much of my private life private as I can, but then also like sharing what I think is like need to know information rather than just giving it all out there. So I don't really share like my romantic relationships. Like I posted my boyfriend yesterday because it was his birthday, but he's just going back into hiding now.
Right, yeah, get the little birthday plug out there. I think that's fine.
I think it's like, it's important to hold stuff back for yourself. You don't need to share everything.
Well, I used to do that. I feel like back in the day when Instagram first came out, I was just putting everything up there, boyfriends, everything. But now you have to go through all the exes and delete all the photographs. I'm like, oh God, no. Yeah, so I kind of learned from that.
I just see it as like access.
Yes.
And do you want people that you don't know to have full access to you?
That's just it,
And like
isn't
some
it?
people do, but like I think you really need to ask yourself that question.
Yeah.
Like, is this something that I'm going to feel comfortable with in a week, a month, a year?
Yeah.
And if it's not, then maybe hold it back for yourself, because there's nothing wrong with holding some things back for yourself.
Yeah,
Because,
totally.
you know, if they're precious to you, then they don't always need to be out there, because the thing about social media is you don't get the full story.
Absolutely.
And if you are giving people something that's really precious to you, but without the full context, I don't know, I think sometimes you can end up shooting yourself in the foot.
Well, yeah, and also, would you say that you feel a sense of responsibility when you're posting? You know?
I do,
Yeah.
because, you know, not many trans people have the same kind of scale of platform that I have, and I try to use it as a way to instigate conversations that I feel need to happen.
Yeah.
And it's
quite pressure.
It's a lot of pressure.
Yeah.
It's a lot of pressure.
Yeah.
But I think it's something that I really take on with welcome. You know, I welcome it. I with open arms.
Well, as you said as well, that social media, it can really build communities together, and that's a really positive space.
I just tried to be the person that I wanted when I was a young adult or a teenager or a child.
Oh, that's amazing.
And, you know, I'm not perfect. I don't get everything right. And I think that's the other thing with social media, is that we need to like ease up on each other a little bit.
Completely. The
'Cause we're all
comparing
just
lives and
human.
yeah. No, totally. What advice would you give then to someone that was overthinking what they're posting? Do you think?
If you're overthinking what you're posting, maybe take some time
Yeah.
to think about what you want to get from social media, because it's not just there for you to constantly put things in and then get the validation out. I think make it work for you.
Yeah.
Think about, you know, what is my goal? What's my aim?
Because it's your space.
It's yours, yeah. So make it work for you. Don't just endlessly put things out hoping that something's going to hit.
That's great advice, but that leads me to my next question, because I think both of us at some stage we've sort of put out there, you know, some of the negative stories that have been, you know, said about us and things like that. I did a documentary about cyber flashing, for example.
I saw.
Yeah,
I'm sorry
it's like
that happened to you.
Oh, thank you. But yeah, it's a difficult topic to kind of talk about, and I started putting things up there saying this is the sort of example of the things that I get every day, and I think you've done similar kind of things. How do you navigate that sort of thing personally?
Yeah, I think it kind of goes back to what I just said before, with people behaving differently to how they would in real life.
It's completely true.
I think also you need to make sure that you're not deeping it and you're not seeing it as a you problem.
Yeah.
If somebody has the gall to behave in a way that dehumanizes another person because there's no ramifications like there would be in real life, then that's a really cowardly example of behavior.
Yeah.
So I think just try to contextualize it and see it for what it is, and not see it as something that, you know, you've done wrong, or, you know, that this must be the way that people see you. Or
I'm trying to learn that at the moment.
I get a lot of transphobic comments and a lot of racist comments. And at the beginning, when I first started getting it, when I first came to a public eye, I actually started thinking that it was something that was wrong with me. I started thinking, well, why am I the one that's getting all of this abuse?
And people say to you, oh, just come off social media, just block and delete.
Well, no. Do you know what I mean?
And as you just said, you know, you see social media as a really positive space, especially for communities like the trans communities. It really can be. People have a voice and they get together and talk. It's a really important space. So to have someone say to you, no, you need to take it, it's depriving you of something, of a joy. And
it also takes away the onus of them, so they get to still be on, and so they still get to use it however they want to, but I need to come off, and, you know, and not have access to all of the positive things. So, but I started to blame myself, but it's really important to make sure that you remind yourself that these people are doing it because they can. And it's not necessarily anything to do with you, because they wouldn't do it in the real world. And I think really that is something that needs to be explored by the platforms, and more people should be holding the platforms accountable.
Well said. Bloody well said.
Thanks.
On a lighter note, what's your favourite kind of social content? What do you like looking at? What do you like watching?
I love when something really silly goes viral.
Right, yeah. Lockdown was pretty good for that, I think.
Yeah, definitely. And like award shows, like gaffes, or when someone wears a red carpet outfit and it looks like something completely different. Like things that...
Sam Capaldi, that was pretty funny at the Brits the other night.
Yes.
Mo Gilligan called Lewis Capaldi. Sam Capaldi, great.
I loved the Angela Bassett did the thing that's going around at the moment with Ariana DeBose from the BAFTAs. But I love it when it's not offensive as well. And the person that, you know, is involved in the meme can get involved in it and almost just kind of like being on the joke, and it's not like ridiculing anyone. It's just everyone having a laugh.
I'm obsessed. I watch just cooking videos over and over again. And like there's like this tiny kitchen thing that I follow, and it's about
I've seen that.
Yeah, like making tiny little pancakes and tiny little... Oh, I'm so weird.
Love ASMR as well. Cutting soap.
Oh my God, the scraping thing. Oh my God, we'll do that later.
Yeah.
Who inspires you the most on social media at the moment? Do you kind of go through phases of things?
I do. I really like plugging into thoughts from the younger generation and trying to like understand how they see the world. Because obviously growing up online, they've had so much more access to information than we had at that age. So they see through so many things that we just take as verbatim. And also like seeing us age through their eyes and being like, statement necklaces, stop doing it.
No, oh my
and
God.
things like that.
I know.
So, yeah.
I try and do those fashion things. I sort of go, right, I'm going to follow this person because I don't know anything about fashion really. And like I go, okay, right, baggy trousers, they seem to sort of be in at the minute. I'm just going to follow a page that shows how to dress baggy trousers. And then I scroll and scroll and scroll. It's pathetic.
I'm learning how to do social media all again from Gen Z.
Oh
They're like,
my God,
stop
me too.
rotating your pictures.
Yes.
Stop tagging people and leaving it up.
Shits, aren't they?
Wow, there's so many rules that I didn't know.
Oh my God, same. You've inspired so many people over the years. Do you have any stories of followers contacting you with how kind of you've changed their lives for the better and how you've inspired them?
I do.
I bet you do. I bet you're inundated
It's really
with
lovely.
that. Yeah.
And I think that that's a great reminder that, you know, for like every one of the troll comments that you get, there's going to be like 5 or 10 people that you've helped. And the negative comments are often the loudest, but it's important to just remind yourself that that's not the whole story.
Yeah.
So it's really lovely, and I think we all need more of that. So I think if you see something online and you love it, then say, because you can guarantee that person that's putting themselves out there and, you know, bearing their soul and entertaining people is going to be getting hate as well from somebody that, you know, there's always going to be someone that doesn't like something for whatever reason.
Yeah, that's so true. What do you think is next?
Gosh.
In years to come, like, how do we think we're going to be using social media? Because I'm worried. I'm worried about it being so much a part of our lives, because I think you've got a healthy head on your shoulders with it of saying it's not my life, it's not my reality, this is just like a part of it.
Yeah.
Do you think that that it will take over? Are you
I
ever
really hope it
concerned of that?
doesn't.
Yeah, me too.
I think it's really important that we have balance. And, you know, coming out of lockdown and after COVID, I really fell back in love with life again, and started to put less pressure on myself to share as much or be as present online, because I just really wanted to be present in the real world. So I hope that more people start to maybe not necessarily pull away, but have much more of an objective view and like much more of a balanced view of social media than, you know, just seeing it as something that we have to be hyper present on, because the pressures that come with that and, you know, the beauty standards and the doom scrolling and all of the negative things can really have a subconscious or an unconscious effect on us. So I think the more platforms that we have, the more chance of that happening. So I really hope that people still have fun and connect and be inspired and inspire other people, but also just really make the most of their life, because we've only got one. And what's the point if we're just, you know, just posting all the time and not actually living in the real world?
It's so true. I walked past a cafe the other day and it said on the front, it said, no, we don't have Wi-Fi, talk to each other. I thought that was really, I really love that.
I actually feel relieved when there's no Wi-Fi sometimes.
Yeah, God, I need to get better at that. I really do. I'm terrible at the minute, just scrolling.
Only for a little while, and then I'm just like, what?
I'm single though as well. So, and then I have to keep remembering, no, Instagram is not a dating app, Emily. Ridiculous. Do you have any bathroom affirmations that you say to yourself? Do you say things to yourself in the mirror every day? To kind of, do you? Could you tell? Could you tell me some?
Do I? I have like little chats with myself. Like if I feel nervous.
I feel in my older age I'm talking to myself a bit more.
It's a thing.
That. Is that an affirmation? I don't know. I'm just sort of having tiny little conversations with myself.
It's a millennial affirmation.
Yeah. I love that.
Yeah, I'd have like little words with myself. Like if I feel nervous or like I can't perform or that I'm gonna fail, then I just have a word with myself and I'm just like, everybody here wants you to win. Like more people want you to win than want you to fail. And those who want you to fail, prove them wrong. Like, just go and do it for you. And, you know, people hire me because they know what I'm capable of. People follow me because they want to see what I'm doing. People around me in my life are there to support me. So I just think, like, try to encourage yourself and be your best friend, like talk to yourself like your best friend rather than talk to yourself in a mean way that you wouldn't allow someone to talk to your frids.
This is something I'm really learning at the moment. I always sort of go, you know, oh God, I've got fat thighs, I've got this and that. And my friends go, you can't say that about yourself because you wouldn't say that to somebody else. yeah, be kind to yourself.
I think that that's the best advice that I could give is, you know, just work on your relationship with yourself and treat yourself like your best friend, because there is literally no point going through life like being hurtful to yourself. And I talk about this in my book, about like the levels of shame and the level of self-hatred that I experienced, especially at the beginning of my transition. And if anybody who's watching this is like going through a transition at the moment, you know, transitioning is literally the best form of self-love that I can think of. And you're doing it because you love yourself, because you want to live.
And you've realised that who you are as a person, you realise who you want to be.
So what's the point if you're like talking to yourself like somebody that you hate? And it's easier said than done. I can't lie, but that's where friends come in, and that's where like good friends come in. Someone that people
and
that
real friends, real people, not just people that are on your socials.
Exactly, people that are going to hold you accountable, people that are going to help you be the best version of yourself.
Did you find that in your transition, did social media comfort you more or less, do you think?
I think I wasn't using it in the right way at that time, and I really did compare myself to the transition of other girls, and it made me quite frustrated. I was also measuring myself up against like the beauty of cisgender women, which was really, really difficult because there wasn't really necessarily that many trans women in the public eye for me to measure myself up against, or like kind of like see myself as. Not that I should be measuring myself up against anybody,
but we
like
all do.
In those days you did. And yeah, it was really, really tough. So that's why I think it's amazing that there's so many different kinds of trans women out there and trans people out there, so that you don't need to compare yourself to anyone, really. You can see that there's room for everybody, and there's beauty in everyone. To just be you, the person you want to be. Absolutely, and we're all doing different things, and you don't even need to like try to just relate to one person. You can see parts of yourself in loads of different people. And I think it's a really beautiful thing.
That's lovely. I got goosebumps when you said that. It's really nice. Thank you so much for talking to me.
Thank you for having me.
Because I'm such a ledge, I'm going to gift you, only if you give me a book.
Well, I love a freebie. So.
Right, here we go. So this is called Perfect Zen.
Amazing.
You make me feel very zen. Your energy is very lovely and calm.
Oh, I love that.
Wonderful.
Thank you so much. You too.
Well, there you go, for your bath.
Thank you so much.
You're very welcome. Thank you so much for talking to me.
Of course, it's been a pleasure.
You're a darling. Thank you again to our lovely viewers for watching today's episode of Soaking Up Life with me, Emily Atack. And today's guest has been the brilliant Munroe Bergdorf. Mwah. Next time you look in your bathroom mirror, just remember that you are your own best friend. See you next time.